Income Tax 2020, Practice Problem 1, Presentation 11, Adjustments to Income, Charitable Contributions. If you take the standard deduction, we're going to be using the tax formula in a worksheet within Excel. Come in, relax with Income Tax 2020. Here we are in the Lacerte tax software. You don't need the Lacerte tax software to follow along, although I do think they have a 30-day free trial, so if you can get access to a promo or demo version of it or any other tax software, it could be a good tool to practice with. We're going to be continuing on with our comprehensive practice problem 1 here. Last time we entered the information related to charitable contributions. We entered it with the assumption that we have a standard deduction as opposed to itemizing at this point in time. We have then the amount of charitable contributions that you could put basically on the above the line deductions, which you would think would be on Schedule 1, but no, it's on the first page of the 1040 in line 10B. So in essence, an above the line deduction that has an impact on the adjustments to income. So we entered this information into the tax return. Then we're going to follow our process and enter it in the formula format as well to double check it over there and to kind of understand it in terms of a formula basis. So if I go back to the tax formula, then we're looking at this information, the source document for this. We want to get everything from the source document when we enter both into the tax return and to here. The source documentation might just be the client telling us how much they input or gave to charity, or they might give us the actual supporting documentation from the charitable organizations. But if they give to a lot of charities, they might just give us basically the totals for it. And then, of course, you want to let them know that they need the backup information in the event that they have an audit or something like that. So we're going to provide it in whatever format they give to us might not be as formal as, say, a W-2 or a 1099 or something like that. Now, if we're entering it into our formula here, normally we would think, okay, charitable contributions. It was $500. We're imagining $500, they told us, was a cash contribution. Normally we would think it would go here in itemized deductions, Schedule A. But if I add that there and I go down and I say, well, if I put in the charitable contributions here, like 500, I'd get the full 500 as an itemized deduction, but when I pull it back over to the first page, that of course will be less than the standard deduction, and I wouldn't get any impact. So for this year, we got to realize that we can then take this above the line deduction and up to $300, and we can see that the cap is going to be at the $300. So then I can go to the adjustments to income. Now I'm looking at this line item, and we're going to say, okay, adjustments to income. And we have the charitable contributions here. And I'm going to put then the 300 here. Now you might want to put have an indication that there's a limit. There's a 300 limit. 300 limit. So when you do the data input or someone else is doing the data input, then they'll see the limit. You can do some kind of formula that would cap it at 300 if you so choose as well. Just depends how fancy you want to make your Excel sheet. But in any case, we got the 300 there. And then that's going to flow down to our 2,150 for the total other deductions. That then is going to basically match what we have over here, or it should, we would think, at the 2,150. That then pulls over to the first page of our tax formula. So now we've got the income. It was an above the line deduction or adjustment to income to get us to the adjusted gross income at the 78,880. I can compare that to Lacerte now and check out Lacerte. So we should then have the 78,880. That looks good. And then continuing on, we're going to take the standard deduction at this point. That brings us to the 54,080. 54,080. That looks correct. And then we're going to rely on Lacerte to do the calculation of the tax on page 2, 5,938. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into our system, 5,938. And then we have the 8,000 from the withholdings on the W-2. So the bottom line then should be refund 2,062. Does that match what's in Lacerte? So we got the 8,000 here, 2,062. It looks good thus far.